Welcome to the Finance Committee, Mr.
Thank you very much for having me.
Would you like to explain the bill, please?
Yes. Let me take a minute, if I may, and explain what this bill is not. Some people who have looked at this have suggested that it is similar to Prop 13 in California or Prop 2.5 in Massachusetts. In some respects it is, but in a very profound way it is not. This bill is not an attempt to control the size of tax levies. Prop 13 in California and Prop 2.5 in their construction are designed to limit the growth of tax levies through the property tax process. This bill does not do that. I hasten to say it, and I want to make it very, very clear. This bill is completely revenue neutral. It has no impact on the amount of money that any community can raise for the tax levy. That's handled by another state law, which, as you all know, limits the growth of the tax levy to an annual decreasing amount to end at 4% by 2013. In essence, this bill will tax existing property owners based on their prior tax adjusted by the same percentage as the change in the tax levy. It's driven by the tax levy, and it's designed to provide enough revenue to fund the tax levy, just as we currently do in any non-revaluation year. However, we do have revaluations, and they're necessary to be sure that new owners pay their fair tax, not too much and not too little. This bill provides for new owners to be taxed, as they always are, on the basis of their property's market value. After they pay their first year's tax based on market value, they become existing owners like everyone else. This is going to require some changes in thinking, but I think the benefits are more than worth it. I would also like to offer an amendment, if I may, and I don't know the technical process by which we do these things. Of the amendment, I do not. Well, I take it back. It's in the paragraph that I just handed out. And the amendment is to allow the state to create an opportunity for the town of North Kingstown alone to adopt this format for a fixed period of time as a test case to see that there are no unintended consequences or problems with this. I don't foresee it. Nevertheless, it's taking a big step because it's a fundamental change in the way we think of property taxes. And therefore, rather than ask the legislature to commit the entire state to this, I'm suggesting the possibility of allowing one town to do this as an experiment, if you will, for a fixed period of time, after which this would end, and then the state could decide, based on the experience of North Kingstown, whether this would be an appropriate step to take for the entire state. So we would, I guess, need a sub-A, is that the right language, to make some modifications to the legislation that you see in front of you. Pardon me?
We will ask you to get with legal counsel, Bobby Carr.
Okay,
And,
sure,
about that.
sure.
Get somebody in there, we'll have a hearing.
Now, to summarize, if I may, if we adopt a procedure like this, we will require revaluations only for property that is sold or new construction. In other words, towns can save, well, statewide, hundreds of thousands of dollars annually because of the change in the need for full revaluations every 3 years. All owners would be paying taxes that are predictable and that are limited in their increases or decreases by state law, that 4% limit, as I said. Everyone would share on an equal percentage basis as determined by the needs of their communities. And I can't emphasize this enough, there is no effect on the available revenue for towns to provide services. Now, I've simplified this, and I could get into the nitty-gritty of how this works, and I didn't know whether or not you really wanted to get into that. But I'm at your disposal, and I'm willing to discuss anything that you want to talk
Mr.
about.
Waxman, I think after we get to sub-A, we'll have another hearing on this bill, and then you can come back and get into the nitty-gritty, as you call it.
Okay?
So